It'd be a pretty hard task to find a person these days who hasn't at least heard of Pop Tarts. The Kellogg branded toaster pastries have been around for over 50 years and have still remained a staple in American breakfasts. But behind that thin and shiny silver wrapper, there's more than just two sugary rectangles inside. Today, let's talk about the weird world of Pop Tarts and how they've managed to maintain relevance in America for over half a century. Pop-Tarts were invented in 1964, and funnily enough, only exist because of a huge error on the part of Kellogg's rival at the time, Post. See, Post was actually the first company to make the Pop-Tarts we know and love today in 1963, but Post made two critical errors in their promotion for the new product. First, they decided on the name Country Squares, which, if it doesn't sound appetizing to you now, don't worry, the people in 1963 felt the exact same way. Plus, during that time, square was a common insult to use to call someone dull, boring, and monotonous. So Post deciding to call their brand new and never before seen product dull and boring was reflected when people chose to forego the pastries when shopping for groceries. Another critical error Post made is that they announced the Country Squares months before they were even set to release. Doing so allowed Kellogg's to perfect their own version of the toaster treat. Post spent those months trying to perfectly craft the Country Squares, while Kellogg's rushed to produce Pop-Tarts and put them on the shelves as quickly as possible. Funnily enough, Kellogg's also wanted to perfect their version of the treat and brought in cookie company Keebler, whose manager at the time, Bill Post, no relation to Post the company, is credited with designing and creating the Pop-Tarts we know and love today. Speaking of names too, Pop-Tarts also had a different name at first, Fruit Scones, which sounds better than Country Squares, but still. Kellogg's eventually changed the name and took inspiration from iconic pop artist Andy Warhol and the pop art movement to create the iconic toaster pastry, Pop Tarts. Although Bill and Kellogg's created Pop Tarts in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the lab rats for the new breakfast treat ended up being Cleveland, Ohio. They were so successful in Cleveland that Kellogg's was convinced of its promise and rolled Pop Tarts out nationally in 1964. The first batch of Pop-Tarts sold out so quick that Kellogg's actually had to put out a statement apologizing, saying that they ran out of Pop-Tarts. In the statement, they said, "We had no idea our Pop-Tarts would become so popular so soon. Your response to this change of pace treat for breakfast, lunch, or snacks has been so great that we just plain didn't make enough." Kellogg's were eventually able to restock their new hot commodity, and since then, the sales of Pop-Tarts have continued to increase. For the last 32 years to be exact. People still can't get enough of this delectable toaster treat. Now, how did Pop-Tarts become such a sensation in the late 1960s? Well, the success of Pop-Tarts in the early stages is mainly due to the toaster. No, not the machine that you're supposed to put Pop-Tarts in, but a very specific toaster. Milton, to be exact, who was Pop-Tart's first mascot used for branding the product. Milton was such a hit that despite Kellogg's running out of Pop-Tarts in their first batch shipped, they still had a difficult time keeping shelves stocked once Milton was introduced in 1971. Milton became the face of Pop-Tarts and had several products of his own, including mugs, plates, and even a puzzle/paint set. Although Milton didn't last very long, the success of him as a mascot is remarkable and really interesting, considering Milton is only one of two major promotions and mascots Pop-Tarts ever had, yet the product still remains as popular as ever. The other campaign, which continues to live in the minds of 2000s kids, is the Crazy Good tagline and promotion Pop-Tarts had, introduced in 2004.
They're gonna eat me! Hide me! Hide me! Hide me!
They'll never look here.
Where's that cinnamon roll?
Thanks!
Too easy.
Part of this complete breakfast.
Crazy good!
The ads, focused on rebranding the toaster pastries towards children, featured anthropomorphic Pop Tarts and kids who would constantly try to scare the Pop Tarts away and trick them into being eaten. Each ad had a distinct animation style dubbed Squiggle Vision, in which digital characters look as though they've been roughly hand-drawn and squiggly. The advertising campaign, however, looked to bear a strong resemblance to the work of animator Don Hertzfeldt, specifically Hertzfeldt's work titled Billy's Balloon. Hertzfeldt, however, was not a part of this ad campaign at all, and considered litigation for stealing his work, but never committed. It's well documented that Hertzfeldt is disapproving of these commercials as well. The Crazy Good slogan also had the Pop-Tarts website changed to reflect the name of the new campaign. The website change was made in 2007, and since this was the golden age of flash games and online simplicity, Pop-Tarts created the Crazy Good World, a part of the website in which users could create an account and play a variety of flash games to earn points. Those points would then end up being used on items such as wallpapers or music downloads. In 2010, however, the site was no longer available to play on, and of the 13 games featured on the website at the time, only one of them has been found and is able to play currently, Drop a Note, in which players drop music notes to stop the Pop-Tarts from climbing up to the player. Aside from the singular game, the only remains of the website are a handful of still images of games that were available to play previously, and a singular screenshot of the main website page. Everything else related to this website has been seemingly lost for good. It seems as though Pop-Tarts doesn't use the Crazy Good Kids promotion anymore, although the Crazy Good slogan itself is still being used, and instead mostly relies on brand recognition itself, instead of constantly creating new and exciting ad campaigns. When people think of Pop-Tarts, a few flavors come to mind. When Pop-Tarts were first released, they came in 4 different flavors: strawberry, blueberry, brown sugar cinnamon, and apple currant. Of those 4, only one has been discontinued, the apple currant flavor. When frosted Pop-Tarts were introduced a couple years later, they not only introduced a raspberry flavor, but also a Dutch apple and grape. The grape flavor made a comeback years later, but was discontinued again in 2017, which revived a dedicated fanbase of the flavor to push to get it back onto store shelves. Ever since the original flavors, there have been over 24 different flavors of the toaster pastries, some incredible tasting, some head scratchers, and others completely out of left field. Pop-Tarts introduced strange fruit flavors like watermelon, blue raspberry, guava mango, and more recently just plain mango. They've dabbled in ice cream, creating their line of ice cream shop Pop-Tarts, which included vanilla and strawberry milkshakes, the strawberry one still being sold to this day, although not under the ice cream shop name, ice cream sandwich flavor, rainbow cookie sandwich, and of course, hot fudge sundae, which would end up becoming one of the many staple flavors Pop-Tarts currently sells. If that's not strange enough for you, Pop-Tarts have also made mint chocolate chip flavor, chocolate banana split, marshmallow hot chocolate, maple bacon, pink lemonade, and a mystery everything bagel flavored Pop-Tart. Pop-Tarts have also done several collaboration flavors, including A&W root beer and orange crush soda, 2 Dunkin' Donuts coffee drinks, Jolly Rancher hard candy flavors, Fruit Loop cereal, Eggo waffles, Hostess cupcakes, and a special edition college Pop-Tart, which had printed designs of the logos of several universities in the US. Pop-Tarts have also tried a Gone Nutty line, in which each flavor featured peanut butter. They came in 2 flavors, plain peanut butter and chocolate peanut butter. Although they have been discontinued for a while, they remain one of the most popular flavors of Pop-Tarts that are no longer available. They've also tried a variety of Pop-Tarts known as splits, in which 2 different flavors would make up each half of the pastry. Some of the splits flavors include drizzled sugar cookie and frosted brownie batter, frosted strawberry and drizzled cheesecake, and a more basic chocolate and vanilla flavor. More recently, Pop-Tarts have tried their hand at a new pretzel Pop-Tart line, including cinnamon sugar, salted caramel, and chocolate. The pretzel line of Pop-Tarts still seems to be in production at the time of this video, but it won't be surprising if Kellogg's discontinues it for a different line of Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts have also done several movie tie-in flavors such as Frosted Spidey Berry to coincide with the release of the Spider-Man movie, Ice Berry Blast to promote Ice Age 2, Backwards Berry for the Pixar film Cars, Lava Berry Explosion for Star Wars, and most recently, Sea Berry for the new SpongeBob film. With so many flavors and the internet's need to turn everything into a joke, there have also been numerous attempts at creating the most absurd and vile Pop-Tart flavors out there, including TV Static, Elmer's Glue, Divorce Papers, Asphalt, ground beef, baked beans, and of course, Caesar salad, in which the official Pop-Tarts Twitter account acknowledged, making fun of those who are quick to believe everything they read online. After releasing numerous flavors over the years, there are only about 28 current varieties of Pop-Tarts that are currently sold, excluding the Pop-Tart Bites and Pop-Tart Crisp varieties. I mentioned earlier that Pop-Tarts have created several movie tie-in flavors to promote upcoming films, but the toaster pastries have been more involved in pop culture than just gimmicky flavors. The popular show Family Guy had a segment which involved characters Peter and Quagmire singing about how butter is a great addition to Pop-Tarts.
On a Pop-Tart, it's so frickin' good. Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? If you haven't, then I think you should.
Funnily enough, Pop-Tarts actually teamed up with Banner Butter, due in part to the song, to create a limited Pop-Tarts X Banner Butter kit. Each kit contained 3 Pop-Tart flavors and 6 butters to accompany the pastries. That's not the only limited time collaboration Pop-Tarts have done. In 2021, Pop-Tarts teamed up with Lyrical Lemonade, a media company specializing in rap music, to promote their new flavor, lemon cream pie. The box had a unique design, and there was a special pop-up event in Los Angeles to promote the crossover, where fans could purchase the limited edition box of the brand new flavor. Pop-Tarts are also making their way to the big screen as comedian Jerry Seinfeld, whose love for Pop-Tarts is well known, is set to direct, produce, and star in an upcoming film about the creation of the toaster pastry. The film, titled Unfrosted, is set to begin production in the spring of 2022 and will be released on Netflix. Did you know that the US dropped over 2.4 million boxes of Pop-Tarts in Afghanistan following their attacks in the early 2000s? Yep, while the US planned to drop bombs, they also dropped millions of boxes of toaster pastries and other high-calorie foods in an attempt to fight hunger in Afghanistan and serve as a message of goodwill from the US. Pop-Tarts also tried to break the world record for world's biggest Pop-Tart. In 1998, to commemorate their 35th anniversary, Pop-Tarts created a massive version of the toaster pastry that took over 4 hours to create. The massive tart measured 35 feet long and had over 800 pounds of icing on it. There's also a correlation between a certain Pop-Tart flavor and hurricanes. According to Country Living, during a hurricane, Walmart sees a significant increase in sales of the frosted strawberry Pop-Tart flavor. Since the shelf life for Pop-Tarts is fairly long and it's a simple and high-calorie food, it's understandable why it would become a hot commodity during times like a natural disaster, but it's still interesting to think about. Pop-Tarts also once occupied a space in Times Square in New York. The Pop-Tart World store had a vending machine in which customers could purchase packs of Pop-Tarts, a place to buy Pop-Tart themed merchandise, a stand that allowed you to create your own Pop-Tart shirt, and a cafe which served Pop-Tart sushi. The store closed just a year later, seemingly due to the lack of interest in something like Pop-Tart sushi. There used to be a Pop-Tart cereal as well. The cereal, which originally debuted in 1994, was discontinued and then revived in 2019, and seemingly discontinued again. With over half a century of success, over 24 flavors, and an odd history to accompany it, Pop-Tarts have continued to remain the most iconic breakfast treat for adults on the go, or for children looking for a sweet treat to start their day. Thanks for watching.